Ahead on WDAM 7 Sunrise, Mississippi Representative Stephen Palazzo is accused of committing 3 ethics violations. We have the details coming up. Also, the state has received thousands of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We hear how state health leaders think this new option will help cut back on COVID-19 numbers. And Governor Tate Reeves has lifted several COVID-19 restrictions statewide. We'll tell you about that and more straight ahead on WDAM 7 Sunrise.
We're proud to always be on your side. Good morning, Pine Belt. This is WDAM 7 Sunrise.
Hello and good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Vanessa Pacheco. A cold start this morning, but hopefully we will warm up later today. Let's toss things over to Patrick for a look at the forecast. Now, Patrick, I thought the warm weather was here to stay. It's a little chilly this morning.
Yeah, it's a little chilly this morning, but by the time we get into the afternoon, Vanessa, we're going to warm back up into the low 60s. So yesterday, we didn't get out of the 40s, but today we're going to warm up and we're going to see the sunshine appear pretty soon. Right now, we're still socked in with the clouds as we start off your day. A live look at the Mississippi Power Sky Cam out there this morning in Midtown Hattiesburg. Currently, it's 40 out there, but with the wind out of the northwest at 8, it feels more like 34 degrees with our wind chill. So mostly cloudy skies this morning. 40 in the Hub City is 37 up the road to Moselle, 37 in Laurel, 36 in Collins, and 37 up towards Raleigh. And they're actually starting to see some breaks in the clouds up there this morning. So this morning we start off mostly cloudy, but I think by 9 to 10 o'clock we're going to see clouds get out of here and we're going to turn sunny. Later on this morning and by lunchtime it'll be a beautiful day, and that means we're going to see sunny skies this afternoon. Highs are going to top out around 62 degrees for today, so it's really going to feel pretty nice across the area as we go into those afternoon hours. Now, what about the rest of the week? Will we see any more rain? What about the weekend? Well, we're going to take a look at it all coming up here in your full forecast, which will be here in just a few minutes.
Throughout the last year, we as a state have been among the 4 or 5 most open states in America. And we've been rewarded for it with more jobs, a stronger recovery, and more economic activity. But that's not because the measures we put in place were a light burden. It's because the measures in the rest of the country were so harsh.
Those words coming from Governor Tate Reeves as he addressed the state yesterday, officially lifting several COVID-19 restrictions, including the statewide mask mandate. Now, the mask mandate will no longer be in place as of 5 this evening. Businesses can go back to normal operation hours, full capacity, and no time constraints on bars. Masks for students in K through 12 will still be required, and any indoor arena will be limited to half capacity. Otherwise, the governor is leaving the rest up to personal responsibility. Reeves says that while the declining case numbers play a factor in his decision making, it's always been about protecting the integrity of the healthcare system.
Let me be clear. There is still risk to unvaccinated individuals who choose to interact with others, just as there has been throughout the last 12 months. There will still be COVID in our communities, perhaps for a significant amount of time in our state as well as across the country. We will all need to decide for ourselves and our families how to assess the risk and rewards of each and every activity we choose to pursue.
This new order will be extended until at least March 31st. Meanwhile, the city of Hattiesburg will continue to require masks despite Governor Reeves' new order. Hattiesburg Mayor Toby Barker announced the city's mask order will remain in effect for the, quote, foreseeable future. Barker says the decision to keep the mask mandate was made based on the number of new COVID-19 cases and deaths in the community.
And while I understand the governor has to set broad policy for the entire state, and that the needs of one community might not match up with what another community might need, the fact is this: we will make decisions based on Hattiesburg data. Since this pandemic arrived, we have used local numbers to make policy decisions. We need to continue some basic personal and collective practices until more people get vaccinated. And that includes wearing masks.
Barker says he plans to sign a new order today that will follow some of the state's recommendations for business capacity and operation hours. On the vaccine front, the state's goal is the rapid distribution of the 3 available vaccines. So far, the State Department of Health reports more than 637,000 doses have been administered. State Health Officer Dr. Thomas Dobbs says the 24,000 Johnson & Johnson vaccine doses allocated to our state will help more folks get the shot.
We have been allocated 24,000 doses of vaccine this week of the Johnson & Johnson. Of those doses, 8,000 are going to be allocated for special drive-through events. We're adding additional clinics this afternoon for people to go ahead and get vaccinated with the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson.
Reeves says he believes by the end of the month, the state will continue to get at least that much or more of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine weekly. Dr. Dobbs says right now in Mississippi, there are 188 places where you can get a vaccine in our state. Right now, there are currently thousands of vaccine appointments available statewide. There are more than 1,000 spots at the Lake Terrace Convention Center in Forest County and a little more than 900 at the Magnolia Center in Jones County. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is only available in our area at the Jones County location. There are about 566 spots left for that. When making your appointment, you can select it if that is the type you'd like to receive. And to make an appointment, you can go to covidvaccine.umc.edu. Now, there's also several groups eligible to get vaccinated in our state. Those 65 and older, persons 18 to 64 years of age with underlying health conditions, all teachers in K through 12, preschool and daycare settings, along with first responders and healthcare workers. Now let's take a look at the statewide COVID-19 numbers this morning. The last report from the Department of Health shows 301 new cases of COVID-19 in our state and 44 deaths. The total number of cases for the state is 295,295, and sadly 6,724 people have died from the virus. Here in the Pine Belt, there's a total of 31,988 cases and 643 people have died from the virus in our local communities. It's also reported that more than 278,000 people are presumed to have recovered from the virus. And remember, you can stay up to date on the latest COVID-19 information by checking out our website, WDAM.com, or downloading our WDAM 7 News app free for Android and Apple devices. Well, some news around Mississippi now. A teacher pay raise proposal remains alive in the state legislature after action taken by state senators. The House killed Senate Bill 2001 by ignoring it before yesterday's deadline. However, the Senate Education Committee keeps the issue alive by amending House Bill 852. Senators removed the House language and replaced it with their own language. It would give most teachers a $1,000 pay raise during the year that begins July 1st. Newer teachers would get $1,100. Well, Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann is weighing in on the topic by releasing a statement saying, in part, we want our teachers to know how important they are to our collective success and particularly do not want their efforts during the pandemic to go unnoticed. When a second teacher pay raise bill is returned to the House, we hope they will quickly approve it. In other state news, a report by the Office of Congressional Ethics says there's, quote, substantial reason to believe Congressman Stephen Palazzo misused campaign and congressional money. The OCE's report does not indicate any violations have occurred. All 3 of the allegations are possible violations of House rules, standards of conduct, and federal law. Palazzo's attorney says the congressman has cooperated throughout the investigation.
As you dig down and you look at the data that's there, you realize that he went by the rules, did things by the rules, and didn't do anything that was inappropriate. I think that will be shown.
The bipartisan House Committee on Ethics will review the report. And in Hattiesburg, 2 city council candidates' qualifications are being challenged for the upcoming municipal elections. The first being incumbent Ward 1 Councilman Jeffrey George, asking for a judicial review of Ken Chambers' eligibility as a Democratic candidate. In the other, Ward 4 resident Joseph Lanford is requesting a judicial review of Bradley James Pope Parker's qualifications to run for Ward 4 councilman. Both of the challenges are focused on the residency of the candidate. You can read the full details about both of these situations on our website. And more news in Hattiesburg. The city has voted on the first of 2 parklets for downtown Hattiesburg that will be located at the Porter on Forest Street and at Nellie's Chicken and Daiquiris on Front Street. City leaders are currently reviewing documents that allow businesses to lease the public parking areas. Now, this is the first step in creating these outdoor seating spaces with the hope to begin construction within a few months. The city announced last week it would invest in the public parking and seating areas. Leaders are hoping this expanded outdoor option will help businesses where outdoor seating isn't as readily available. And in Laurel, Mayor Johnny McGee signed a proclamation to make March Intellectual Disabilities Month. The proclamation recognized the ARC organization for their efforts to assist the intellectually disabled. If you would like to get involved with the organization, you can check out their Facebook page, the ARC of the Pine Belt. And time right now is 5:11. Still ahead this morning. Spring break is quickly approaching, and even with the new COVID-19 guidelines, events along the coast are hesitant to take place. The details coming up after the break.
And this morning we're starting off pretty chilly out there. Temperatures are down into the 40s, even some 30s on the map, but we're going to warm up nicely this afternoon. We'll talk about it all coming up.